Hello, Northstar here with another Alpha Centauri Let's Play. Got the trailer here again. Some commentary I didn't make on the first one. Thinking about whether I should really want to talk through it, but
Therefore the Lord God sent
watch
him
this
forth from the Garden
again
of Eden. He drove out the man, and he placed at the
carefully.
east of the Garden of Eden cherubim, and a flaming sword which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. The Conclave Bible, Data Links.
Yeah, I'm not gonna play the whole thing again for you guys. It'd take too long. Guess the reduced volume levels don't work on the main menu. Knowingly, that almost blew my ears out. I probably should have turned it down before. But note some of the symbolism and maybe not so clear things aren't symbolic, but subtle in that trailer. The police violence, you see the police officer pointing a gun at someone who's apparently unarmed, but then you also see police rushing to some sort of emergency. So it's supposed to represent both an increase, an uptick in violent, and an uptick in crime, but also an uptick in police repression. You see the oil rigs and stuff. It's global warming, climate change, the fighter jets, the artillery tanks. It's all about warfare and imperialism. There's a lot of references to what's actually destroying our world today. Um, if you read the books or even some of the in-game stuff, you'll see through quotes. Uh, this game isn't. I mean, every ideology has a sort of valid argument, but in terms of the leaders, and the actions of the factions, canonically and in the books and even in the game, it's not a game without good guys and bad guys, although they're not necessarily the ones you expect. The believers in this game, for instance, not evil, although there are stereotypes of religious nut jobs, and they are descended from American evangelical movement. Uh, if you look at the background of the leaders, which you can see when you're in diplomacy. So let's see, maybe I can pull up the data links now. I think these are the. Can I pull up the leader profiles? I maybe that was. I thought you could do it in the data links normally, but that might have only been the expansion, or it may only be in diplomacy. When I meet my first faction, take a look at the leader profiles. They're definitely there even in the base game. They're just easier to access in expansion. Deidre Sky and Miriam Godwinson. So the guy in and the believer, the religious one, are both somewhat associated with the United States. Deidre Sky was a Scottish environmentalist, but I think she spent some time going to school in the United States. um, like Harvard or something, and then went back to Scotland, and she was very involved in I think the idea is protests against oil rigs in the North Sea and such, which were being expanded when this game was made, and are come very close to some huge environmental disasters. They're a very bad idea. And off the coast of Norway too. There's also a risk of destabilizing some underseas frozen methane deposits with this oil drilling, which could actually lead to hundreds of millions dead. That's not an exaggeration because they start bubbling up. It can release enormous amounts of methane, enough to choke out huge parts of the population in Western Europe. People just suffocate. Um, Create fires because obviously that methane at that high density enough to suffocate people can ignite near the edges. There's still some oxygen that hasn't been displaced, and so massive fires, uh, many large urban centers, the entire population suffocating, and runaway climate change from that much methane being released, enough to like produce as much climate change as expected in like 200 years in like five. That's if some of these largest frozen methane deposits are released. This could basically end human civilization, and we're playing with fire, so to speak, uh, drilling around the North Sea. If we accidentally destabilize one of these really large deposits, we're screwed. If the North Sea warms enough, we're all screwed because these frozen methane deposits will naturally release. They're essentially it's methane in a solid state that's very unstable, and you only need slight changes in temperature and pressure for it to turn back into gas form. And yep, I mean it's kind of like there was a famous, what was it, Lake Baikal or something? No, some lake in Africa that had a lot of I think CO2 in its depths, and it turned over once and suffocated tens of thousands of people. Something like that, but on a much larger scale. And methane instead of CO2, which is flammable. This could happen. I guess that's one of the downsides of I'm disabled long COVID. I'm trying to get out of the US because it's going fascist. It's very hard unless my YouTube channel monetizes. I'm looking at what countries take me, and Sweden and Norway are like countries that are more likely than most if it gets to the point where they start accepting asylum seekers in the United States because they've signed to the UN Convention for the Rights of the Disabled and provide social welfare for disabled migrants, the same as for their own citizens, and legally cannot discriminate against disabled asylum seekers. Only countries that have signed on this convention are held by these rules, and not all countries take them seriously, but Sweden and Norway do. It'd be funny if I went to Norway, escaped rising fascism and the possibility of political persecution for being a socialist, because I'm a democratic socialist, and Trump is probably going to come after people like me, or come after me because I'm disabled, because just like the Nazis came after disabled, only for a giant methane bubble up to end up suffocating me. That would suck. But I've had terrible luck in my life. Of course, it would suck for a lot more people than just me. Anyways, should try and turn up the audio a little because I don't think it's really. Uh, Early game, there's just kind of a soundtrack that's alien, and I think it's below the minimum threshold where it does anything. Still nothing. Okay. All right. Well, maybe you'll hear it in a bit. There's kind of an alien soundtrack. It's haunting and very subtle. You can barely hear it usually. I forget if there's more different music later game. I usually play without the music because the music is like MIDI music in this game. That kind of music, here you can hear a little bit of it. It's subtle and it's meant to sound very alien and frightening in the early game. Um, funny. I could theoretically move the UN headquarters if I wanted to, say, put it on a river later. Or just make room for a base based on things I didn't know would happen, like, monoliths. It's not a good idea, but it's theoretically possible. Um, Another colony pod. I mean, Unity pod. Why do I call it colony? Um, One rule about the game might not be immediately obvious, but it's a fact of it. Is if there's already a unit on the xenofungus, other units can move on that tile without risk of failure. So if this scout patrol makes it next turn, or and hangs out there, or a turn after, the point is they can use it to hurry this alien artifact through the fungus without risk of mineworms popping up. So,
Turn complete.
looking for more unipods. You can have things like energy. There's a lot of cool stuff in them. Let's see, 8 to go. Yeah, no, I'll keep doing this. No other reason than to get more science sooner.
Request confirmation.
Reduce the cost of hurrying. Currently it's 10 plus. Yeah, there's 17 to go, and it would cost 48. Yeah, so only the last row is 2 energy per. 3 and then 2, 2. Anyways. Wouldn't want to do it anyways. 6 turns, 5 turns. That's exactly what I want for the timing of the colony pod and such. I might hurry in the last row just before it's done, just have more overflow into what comes next, though. Should save sometimes. But yeah, if growth seems slow, there's some stuff later that lead to explosive population growth. When I'm able to boom my population, basically, which allow, if you're running a nutrient surplus, to grow 1 pop per turn, you need to get +5 growth in a base, which you can get 2 from Golden Age, 2 from Democracy, which yep, 2 from Planned Economy, and 2 from a Chowan's Craze. So some combination of those. Or I forget, it's a 2 or is it +1 from Golden Age? It might actually be just +1. No, it's +2. But a very common combination is Democracy Plan, so basically democratic socialism, and then Golden Age, so you run more doctors in a settlement, i.e. fund healthcare, have enough physicians, which some things say the U.S. doesn't have nearly enough physicians right now in our own world. Is Newt Gingrich, and I guess this would be recent in the memory of the devs when this game was made. Newt Gingrich intentionally cut residency training funding in the United States, which in the long run has led to physician shortage. But anyways, if you have an adequate number of doctors, so they'll add to psych production a base locally, and then maybe run a little bit of energy into psych. Sometimes with larger bases, so into like social welfare and education and things like that, basically putting more money into them. basically, if you take good care of your people and you're running democratic socialism, you can have explosive population growth. Of course, any faction can get with combination golden age planned, and there's also for other factions the cloning vats. So like the Hive can still population boom even though they can't run democracy. But to do it, they need the cloning vats. Um, the Gaians have -1 growth, so that they can do it if they're running democracy planned. Have a children's creche and a base. Yeah, that's the other thing. So it's easier to population boom, and you can do it with the children's creche. It's easier, I should say, with the factions that just need a golden age. Yep, +2 growth, and just double check it, the amount of growth you needed to boom. No, it's 6, right? So the Gaians can't do it even with a children's creche, golden age, and democracy planned and a golden age won't get them. They'll need a children's creche on top of it. Planned economy, a children's creche, and a golden age will get the Hive there. Or actually, no, they have +1 growth, don't they? So no, they can do it with planned economy and golden age even. Yeah, they're not as bad as they seem. I just haven't run them in a while. Arguably, in terms of strength, the strongest factions in this game, if used correctly, are the Believers. They can be ludicrously overpowered. In the base game are the Believers, and the Hive, actually, they can be extremely strong if used well. The AI is terrible with the middle player. Can do great. Great things with them.
Indigenous life form
Oh no.
complete.
More mind worms. And this is a veteran unit, so it might win.
Turn complete.
On alert will cause the unit. I don't believe it provides a defensive bonus, but if a unit is idle and a unit and in something like mind worms appear nearby, moved into adjacent tile, they can attack it between turns or something. I forget. Reactively, I forget exactly what on alert does, but I'll want these guys on alert next to mind worms regardless. Yeah, free drones though in the expansion are stronger than the Hive. The Hive is a distant third to the Believers. Did I say the Believers? Sorry, distant second. The Believers are by far the strongest faction if used correctly. And really, the Hive are only really stronger than the Peacekeepers in the hands of a very skilled player. For a newbie, you're better off with the Peacekeepers or someone who just wants to more relaxed game. I guess you could just say the Believers in the Hive can be really broken if used skillfully. Otherwise, the factions are actually very well balanced against each other. And the free drones, but the free drones are arguably, even in the hands of a really skilled player, probably still second to the Believers, but they are the second strongest faction of any of the human ones. The alien factions are the strongest factions in the expansion if you wish to play as aliens instead of humans. There's reasons for that, like they're not subject to the UN Charter, so they can use nerve gas with impunity. Oop. And there goes my veterans scout patrol. Shit happens, I suppose. I might be rushing this alien artifact back. Do I dare go there and try and hunt down and destroy this damaged mind worm? Yeah, I do. that one was veteran. So yeah, that was the you get one. Your very first scout patrol doesn't receive support from any base. And it's free, and I just lost it. Sucks. Bit of bad luck.
Turn complete.
Yeah, the hive though. One of the things that really inhibits them is they can't. Is their low efficiency. If I remember correctly, they have low efficiency, or sorry, they don't have the low economy score. Goodness, what am I trying to? It's been a while since I looked at strategy stuff with this game and recalled all this. 20 minutes, I'm fine. Yep, 3 a turn. Time to hurry.
Confirmation.
8 to go. Cost, yeah, an extra 3. But I don't want those formers. I can save 2 turns basically for 19 energy. Each former turn with almost 10 energy credits, but that will eventually pay for itself, especially if it gets the recycling tanks done sooner. This being 3, that's like at least 6 minerals. Well, actually 8, but it's 8 more into eventually a secret project if I wasn't gonna also rush the recycling tanks. If I was, well, anyways. Oh yeah, design workshop. Start with a couple of these basic designs, basic formers, colony pod scouts. It's already possible to make a version of formers with, well, not already possible, I should say soon be possible to make versions that have armor and such. The basic armor, not so useful. Yeah, they didn't. It was an expansion. They added some armor that's. There is the side defense armor, but there was a type of armor that's part plasma steel, part side defense. In the expansion, it's like. Resistance proportional distance type pattern refraction. I think this just creates side combat and defense, but there was a and there was a type of armor that made for more even fights and defending inside combat in the expansion. Sometimes you might put on a former if it's operate near fungus. Not in the base game. What is useful is the ability to put terraforming on a rover chassis and have rover formers that can move 2 a turn instead of 1. Like speeder formers or whatever, rover formers.
Production complete.
Oof. Mindworm seems to be ahead this way. Something wicked this way comes. Might need another scout patrol. Yeah.
Request confirmation.
32 energy credits for 7 minerals. No. You can also make
Request confirmation.
partial payments. It's worth noting to speed some tempo a little, or to get less overflow. You don't have to all or nothing. That's an important thing to note. There's a little bit of math on that. I don't remember it in terms of when it's worth it and not. That's just for optimal gameplay. You might want to do stuff multiplayer, but at this point I can build farms, mines, solar collectors, plant forests, roads, and sensor arrays. Now sensor arrays and remove fungus. Sensor arrays have some real use this early on. Sensor array watches surrounding territory for intruders. Sensor arrays can see any enemy unit, includes mine worms, within 2 squares. Data from sensor array also increases defense readiness. Any unit in a landscape within 2 units of friendly sensor gains 25% to its defense. That includes inside combat. So a few things that helps with that. I forget if it's diagonal counts as 2 for sensor array or not, or if it's like the big fat cross of a city. It's probably the big fat cross of a city style. Which mean this would be in range of a sensor array here on the river, for instance. Anyways, I should probably build a sensor array on this tile, north of the formers. If it's diagonal counts as 2, I'll still at least cover these 3 xenofungus tiles. And if it's big fat cross, as I'm hoping, cover this one and this one as well as this. Give me a little advance notice of incoming enemies. Maybe I want it out here, because I think a sensor array competes with solar collectors for, yeah, put it out here and get some advance notice if I can. Because I lost that scout and I've got a mine warden incoming. Again, might want to, yeah. This is going to inhibit my economic growth, but if I lose that scout, I'll be really in trouble. I'm going to move up along here, try and keep an eye out for the mine worm where it might be crossing. Train around here. probably won't make a beeline for the city because it doesn't know where it is, I don't think. Look at extra movement through xenofungus. I don't know how the network connects up this way. It tends to be in a giant network where it's all connective, though, so there's probably connection here. Yeah. What I'll probably do is move the formers here, here. Should I try a sense array on the rocky tile? Probably not, because if there's a... Probably flatten this into rolling and rocky tile eventually. High yield, sorry, rolling and rainy. Yeah, I'm just going to try and get a sense array further out is the point. Keep an eye out for mine worms before they reach my bases. Mine worm this way. Probably don't want to go towards where it is. Ooh.
Indigenous life forms.
Ah!
Complete.
Ah, frickin' A. That scout patrol's as good as dead, too. Oh, bloody A. This is not going well. Last video, things were going great. Not so much now. Not so much at all. Spend the 19 credits. Maybe 3 overflow. Hold on.
Please don't go.
No.
The drones
It's the
need you.
Control
They look
S.
up to you.
I need to mess a little with partial
Request
payments.
confirmation.
If I remember, 16, the last one. No. That's why I did that, because I couldn't remember the formula.
Turn complete. Request confirmation.
If 16 is 2 from 5. Yeah. 3 from 5. Alright, so there's no point in partial hurrying. That's what I wanted to check.
Turn complete.
Yeah, I think it's a certain amount is at 3 costs, and then the last ones are all 2 or less, so. Boom. Oh, what am I? No, I don't want to abandon the base. What the hell was I thinking? I forget. They have to grow. But I won't want to do a partial hurry next turn. Just these guys get another chance to win. Eh, they still die. I believe I can hurry now, though. Energy for 5. It's a little better than 19 for 7. So not for 7, for 8. Anyways, I don't remember the... I believe this will avoid abandoning the colony. Could be wrong.
Turn complete.
Once a man has changed the relationship between himself and his environment, he cannot return to the blissful ignorance he left. Motion of necessity involves a change in perspective. Commissioner Pravin Lal, A Social History of Planet.
And the guy reading that quote is my leader. The early colonists quickly learned the importance of reconnaissance and self-defense in this most alien of environments. Doctrine mobility formalizes these cornerstones of military might, representing the first attempts at an organized defense policy on the planet. Indeed. Alright, let's grab social psych or flexibility. Social psych. You guys will see why. Gah. Alright, didn't want to end up messing with the odds that those guys somehow survive. But I can't hurry this either without abandoning the base. That's a worse outcome for me. I'm fine with it.
Turn complete.
I think that was close to the original one. The Mindworms have a tougher fight. I think they gain experience, so it might actually be better this way. Who knows? But it's close to the original outcome from the first time. What I can do is try and get the scout patrol right to unit headquarters and switch their support to be from the HQ. Now it's not supporting anything at base.
Request confirmation.
16 energy for... No. Nope. It's 4 energy per mineral. Now these guys have already moved through everything. I want to get these off the fungus as far away from it as possible. The alien artifact is quite valuable.
Once a man has changed the relationship between himself and his environment, he cannot return to the blissful ignorance he left. Motion of necessity involves a change in perspective. Commissioner Pravin Lal, A Social History of Planet.
Yes, the reason I want social psych here is for ethical calculus, which will allow me to build Children's creches and run democracy. Democratic politics will result in -2 support, which will unfortunately mean only 1 free unit per base, but it'll allow faster population growth. Try and catch any unipods that might... is there any mindworms that might be out in the open with this scout patrol? Defense situation is quite desperate though, so I'm definitely going to want a sensor array. Do I dare put it further out? Put it here. Former could be attacked before the sensor array is even complete. It would definitely not include this tile in its big fat cross. Yeah, no, I don't put it further out then.
Turn complete. Request confirmation.
Nope, definitely not doing that. Oh yeah. Yep, let's design a scout rover. The first unit you have to, of this type, you have to prototype. Prototypes cost more, but, and this is a big thing, they start with an extra vibrancy level. So my first scout rover will be able to fight the mindworms more effectively. If I had the tech for lasers first, I could get a recon rover, which has a little better attack against other human units, and I think it also costs the same 2030. If I remember, the costs formula is a little weird, and I think it's better described in the data links of the expansion. Cost equals weapon times armor plus speed, so that would be 2 for recon rover times 10. But so that would seem to be 40, but that's divided by 2 to the power of reactor plus 1. So divided by 2 squared, which would seem to be 10. Minimum cost reactor squared minus reactor 2 times 10 less all values are 1. So minimum cost of 1 over 1 minus 1/2 times 10. Cost that for speed 1. I forget the exact. You can look at this, and I think it was explained more clearly in the Alien Crossfire, if I remember correctly, Recon Rovers, which is the default name for a rover with a laser. The point was, though the prototype, I think actually, no, it might have been 40 for those, but that's 20. So, yeah. Doesn't matter, because it'll probably be dead long before I encounter any factions and go to war with them. Let's now have the option of making a scout rover. Costs too many turns. They would want to do it right this second, but it's definitely something I could do, say, here. Wait a bloody second. Did I think I fucked that up.
Turn complete.
It's not watching the food stuff. Oh, yeah, no, I was, because... Alright, 2. It's a scout patrol. I guess another former unit. Gah. Boom.
Turn
Boom.
complete.
Boom.
Turn complete.
Okay, it's gonna grow either way. It's gonna have 3 food surplus either way. So yeah, no, I do want to keep it on that. Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out. If I had done that queue correctly.
Once a man has changed the relationship
Yeah,
between
you've heard it
himself
before. Anyways, yep, scout rovers. design units automatically on. That's what I wanted to double check, because sometimes that can cause weird things. All right. With what main designs are actually using. Ah,
Turn
there we go.
complete.
Accidentally opened the city I wanted to. Boom. All right, this city has grown.
Request confirmation.
It's definitely spent the 4 from our overflow right into another scout patrol, or maybe a scout rover, depending on how things go.
Request confirmation.
Mm-hmm. Do I want to... All right, I'm going to save here because I don't remember if I want to rush that rover.
Production complete. Production complete.
Yeah, it does give the 2 full overflow. There's 2 minerals a turn here after complete, so yeah, there was no reason to rush. Except support from here. Anyways, it'll be exactly 6 turns on that former. Mm-hmm. 2 minerals a turn. 6 to go. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, when I complete the colony pod, it decided to not do this instead of not do this. Get that done. 2 turns. Defense. Needs the defense. Unfortunately, I have to outweigh economic growth this very moment because of all the mine worms. Even the scout patrol have to wait a tiny bit. In the scout rover. Can't be prototyping stuff just yet. Hmm. I'd like to put a base all the way out here, but could be easily destroyed by mine worms. This peninsula might be safer with some sentry arrays. Or on the coast here, near the energy resource. Find arid terrain, not worth anything for production. Put base here. Can work the energy resource. It's not next to any fungus, so it's better protected. Yep, let's do that. like doing this, but I mean, I want to be sure not to, as the colony pods even more valuable in the alien artifact. So, putting a base here though. Bloody probably want a sense array within 2 tiles. I won't detect mine worms, but will provide defensive defense. What the heck am I saying? There could be mine worms coming from this way. Hmm. Do not like this. Do not like this one little bit. Heck with it. Build the base here. The energy C not that bad of work. I can put a base there later. And if I put a sense array here, I'll soon find out if it benefits the base there or not. Start sense array. Boom.
Turn complete.
But yeah, one of the things in the game it's realistic is there's rain shadows on the downwind side mountains, which in the game it's always assumed to be the east side, even though on our own planet in some areas winds move from west to east and others east to west, so rain shadows can be on west or the east side. They could have at least had like northern hemisphere this, southern that in the game, but nope, all winds move from west to east in the game. Rain shadows. So areas in the east side of rises in elevation like this tend to be drier, and you can actually raise mountains and create rain shadows to make terrain wetter up the western slopes. So if I say raise the terrain here, not only change the way the rivers flow, but could make some of these tiles a little wetter. Make it rainy here, but make it even more arid downwind. It's a thing you can do eventually anyhow. 54 minutes. One of the minor things this game is unexplored tiles always look the same as flat and arid, which can be a bit of an issue, not knowing if you explore a tile or not. That is something that could have been done differently, given a different shade to them, so make them look pretty much the same. Don't remember if you can find mine worms on river fungus, but I definitely do not want to risk colony pod if it can all be avoided. That would really hurt my growth. Already harmed by those mine worms, killing 2 of my scout patrols now.
Turn complete.
There we go. One thing you can do is designate you as defender. I don't want to do that because the scout patrol might be rushed to defend this colony pod. I would not want the mine worms to attack the colony pod randomly instead of the scout patrol. Alright. Doing a lot of formers because it's a great way to increase your productivity and build up.
Complete.
And if it leads to minerals being spent on unit upkeep instead of building units. I could work these nutrients, but I really want those formers soon. They'll add to food, especially if I build a farm. The nutrients. And this will soon be back to not having darn it. Failed to make the move. Darn, the fungus connects over there. My worms could be anywhere.
Turn complete.
I'll go this because it's on a river. So at least it can move further after. There's a risk it could unleash even more mine worms.
Terraform complete.
Yep, and I can see all the way out here. So yeah, sensor rays do definitely do big fat cross. That's how it measures 2 tiles. Which means, I said that, but oh yeah, no, this is 2 tiles from the sensor ray. Yeah, I can see all the way into here. Which means this array covers this tile, and this one. Xenofungus connects through here. Give some warning if mineworms try and come around this way to this base, but I'll still need a sensor array somewhere over here-ish. Oop. They've already moved.
Turn complete.
That town, because there's no way a mineworm could interrupt it. It's largely irrelevant, but you know what? This would be fine. Just so I don't have a tile occupied in the big fat cross here. Could screw up my calculations of 13 turns to social psych. It's gonna be a bit. Move later just lets other units that have movement queue do their thing first. The hotkey for that is W. Want to see if they... No, they failed to move there. Okay. Then moved and unleashed mineworms. Flat, rainy. Flat, moist. Go there. And Start planting a forest. No. It's 5 turns right now, and I think it's 5. I mean 4 next, so it's no point pre-starting. But this tile worth less with farms and such, and a forest here could start crowding out some of that xenofungus. So nice, maybe. We'll see here. It's in range of the sensor array, so defense bonuses against mine worms. Put the alien artifact here, just to detect mine worms incoming. If there are any, end up turning up.
Turn complete.
I don't like the risk this unit gets attacked, but it's better the scout patrol than one of my bases getting wiped out. Alright.
Request confirmation. Yeah. Formers and then recycling tanks, and the reason for that confirmation
is because it allowed me to support more units. If I only have 3 minerals, it's a 1/3 increase my mineral production. It'll help with secret projects. It's all fun stuff. 57 energy, so lots to put into hurrying it. Actually, too early for the recycling tanks. Another former first. Can I just insert one? And then a recycling tank.
Production complete.
All right. Something I can do is build a farm and a mine up here. That'll get this tile to produce 2 nutrients and 2 minerals. Farm won't do anything immediately because the nutrient production will be capped at 2. But the mine, or I could just go and do a farm here near the UN headquarters. Yeah, I probably want to do that. I could also build a sensor array out here somewhere. This tile, it's high elevation, but solar collector. So I could do a farm and solar collector and produce, would be 3 energy, but it'll cap down to 2. So 3 nutrients and 2 energy. Which, cool. That's a high yield tile. Put a sensor array probably south of it. Or maybe on the rocky area top. Nah. Maybe here to keep an eye on this branch of the xenofungus. Yeah. Problem is I worry building out here I might get attacked by a mine worm. Mind worm.
Mod recovered.
Oh. Yeah, that can happen. A dimensional gate. It's teleports unit. Way out here. Hey, at least if there's mine worms here, it'll be further from my base. Sometimes you can end up really far from your original base. That can help you find a faction, enemy, or, well, I mean rival factions. They could be your friends. Early. That was a short teleport, though. Keep an eye out for mine worms. There's none right there. Anyways, forest time. But yeah, roads also take longer on rolling terrain, for what it's worth. And in forests. Yeah, the city would just worth the rolling raining terrain. So actually, let's build a road first, and then I can do a forest.
Terraform complete.
Roads do cause a little bit of ecological damage, but that kind of like rivers in terms of 1/3 movement cost. I'll need it not too long from now. This will actually potentially save movement since there's a base here. This can go 1/3. Road automatically extend to the HQ. You can also build forest before you build a base and they're not cleared. Useful sometimes, but anyway, for useful sometimes for displacing fungus and such. But anyways, 1/3, 2/3 chance to be able to get all the way here in one turn, and then can get to the rolling rainy terrain sooner. So effectively, on average, this only costs a third of movement to build that road. Cheap now, more expensive later.
Turn complete.
Save, save, save. Oof, should probably cut this very soon. UN Secretary General. I like to come up with custom names sometimes. UN. Defense Command. After all, base is partly so for defense purposes. Could be a decent industrial center. Supporting more scout patrols. I was thinking here, but it's actually probably better go this way in this. Is it? Guess it could have gone down a moment either way. Didn't say me anything to build that road. But I could build a sensor out here. Better here on the river, though. Build a road here, maybe? Nah. Screw it, I know what I should do. A farm on this rolling moist tile. That's the smart move. Da, da, da. Little stack of units here. So scout patrol will be attacked first. Actually move the artifact back to the base where it's safest. But there's collateral damage also. If a unit gets destroyed, it affects others, so not a good place for the artifact, even if I want to use it as a last ditch defense for the base. Prevent it from getting destroyed. Probably shouldn't defend the former with the artifact. The former is actually less viable of the two.
Pod recovered. Turn complete.
Tyrell's pod used to rush the formers. I'll do another former. Going really heavy on them to terraform lots of terrain. Set up sensor arrays, all sorts of fun stuff. Alright, I'm almost at the point where I'd cut this video in half just because of length, so I'm going to cut it here.
Please don't go. The drones need you.
I wish you folks
They look
all...
up to you.
That's cute. I guess I'm demonstrating that bit of audio for you guys. It's a charming little feature game. But anyways, wish you folks all the best. Take care of each other. Be kind to yourselves. May you always find a guiding star to lead you home. Until next time, this is Northstar. Adieu, and best luck.